Welcome to Looking at Legal Stuff. Today we have 6 hearings in part 1 of a case with a woman who has 4 different court cases going on with 2 separate men. First case is with her ex-husband, who is asking the court for a restraining order to keep Mom from seeing the children due to her erratic behavior and suspected drug use. Mom rants and raves in court and spends most of her time complaining about her other cases while she accuses Dad of conspiring with her recent ex to try and ruin her life. What does a judge think of Mom's behavior? Let's find out. Make sure to stick around for part 2, where we'll cover 3 more cases with the same woman and her recent ex. I'll link it for you down below.
All right. Any other quick matters, strikes, or setovers?
Your Honor, on number 2, this was a return hearing for restraining order. I didn't receive anything from the opposing party. I don't see her present on Zoom. I don't know if she's present in the courtroom, but I just wanted to let you know I didn't receive a response, so I don't know what the posture will be today. So
I didn't see a response. I did have a quick conversation with Commissioner Carmi. I reviewed the rulings and reviewed your proposed orders. The proposed orders I have don't have any signatures on them, and I don't know if that was because of how they got to me, but they appear to comply with Commissioner Carmi's ruling. So I was prepared to enter those today, having received no objections.
we're not on for entry of orders today. We're just on for the reissuance of the restraining order.
Oh, and is this not Enerson and Anderson?
No, this is number 2. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. Mine are all jumbled in here. I
Oh, I
apologize.
apologize.
I was is it Gronitz and Gronitz?
Correct.
Sorry. Okay. 16300483-5. So strike everything I said. The note I have here is I didn't see anything in the file regarding service.
She was served on the 13th, and that was filed with the court. I can tell you here. I'd have to thumb through my book here, but I can tell you. So she was served on the 13th, and the proof of service was filed on
the 24th. So it came in yesterday. It must come in after I reviewed for today. So
it was. Yep.
I do see that. Okay. Is there I don't have anything from you, so I'll have to draft that post after the docket unless you provided something.
I didn't. What I was thinking is we're already set for temporary orders and adequate cause on this case on August 8th. So what I was going to propose to the court is that if you could just fill out the reissuance form, the carbon copy form, until the 8th, I think that makes most sense for efficiency and whatnot right now. So if your honor is willing to do that, I don't need to submit a form. I would be fine with that order.
And reissuance of a protection order to August 8th. Let me just make a note for myself. And that's on that's already on the docket for the 1 o'clock docket.
Correct, for temporary orders and adequate cause. Yep.
All right, I will grab one of those forms and fill that out and file it after court. Gotcha.
And just to be clear, it's just a restraining order reissuance within the family law case, not a DVPO. I just want to be clear on that. So
I will mirror because it looks as though
I can also have my staff just draft a new one of what we filed and email it to your JA if that would be more helpful. I'm happy to do that.
If you want to do that, that would be perfect.
Yep, we can do that right this afternoon. So
and then I'll just once I receive it, I'll get my signature on it and get to the clerk's office.
Perfect.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll see you on the 8th.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I think my matter is number 1 through 4. If I saw correctly, it's the Gronitz case. I didn't receive a response. None was filed. And I don't know if Ms. Gronitz is either present on Zoom or in the courtroom.
I think I got an email that she was going to be appearing from our lobby here. So, Ms. Gronitz.
I can, yes, I am here in the Zoom office at the courthouse.
All right. So this is cause number 16300483-5. Several issues, a restraining order, motion for adequate cause, and temporary restraining order along with a temporary order were all filed. I noticed service was affected on the 13th of July, and then there was an amended service for the 24th of July. Ms. Gronitz, there was no response from you in the file. What is your position?
I came to court Monday to put in a notice of appearance, went home to find out that my email had been spammed and it shut my computer down. And I've spent last week recalibrating. I am here with documents to submit, but I haven't had a chance to submit because I have 3 other court cases I got hit with at the exact same time. So I have filed a protection order against abusive litigation, which is what this is part of. Case number 23200764008. I haven't heard back from that. I left an abusive relationship. I found refuge. I was sought out by the law by my ex-husband, and now Jesse is jumping onto that lawsuit with this plan. So I intend to fight this in full. However, I am about 3 months behind their little litigation strategy game, and I am recalibrating as quickly as possible. So I am at the courthouse. I need to go to the copy machine, submit about 200 documents of previous CPS reports from 2016, about 6 to 7 different protection orders, and an entire decade of attempts by Jesse to remove my children from my care, always at inopportune moments when he should be helping me, and instead he's unhelping me. I left an abusive relationship. I'm living in my own house with my own money. He's claiming meth. I've never done meth, and he knows I'm anti-pharmaceutical because I won contempt of court in 2018, and he still owes me for that. I'm anti-stimulant, and he's claiming meth orders, even though I got drug tested on 6/21/2023 because my previous guy was trying to claim meth. So I haven't had a chance to get caught up, Your Honor. I'm counterfiling. I will take your advice on the best approach. Otherwise, I can submit my whole package tomorrow after I hit the copy machine today and go pay for 500 copies.
Ms. Rush?
Well, Your Honor, I mean, given that she's indicated that she's been able to file all these other actions I would submit in the last month, she should have been able to file a response to our petition. I mean, I don't know if you're on a review the record, but there are some really concerning issues going on here, which is why the court granted the ex parte restraining order. The declarations from third parties are not from my client, kind of corroborating her behavior and the concern about what's going on. I don't know anything about any protection order she's filed against my client. I know she has one against her right now with her last partner. My client, I mean, if we're going to set the hearing over, I would just ask that everything remains status quo and the restraining order just get continued. You know, we would prefer that the matter just move forward and adequate cause be found and our temporary parenting plan be found or be entered, because we did ask in our plan for her to be drug tested and have an evaluation. And so, I mean, that could move things along. If she's recently been drug tested, that would also be helpful to see, obviously, but you know, that's the concern. The other concern is obviously, and we submitted this for the record, where she's living is not there's no water, there's no electric, there's no sewer, that kind of thing. And, you know, the kids are not safe in her care right now. And so, I'll defer to Your Honor on whether you want to send it over or just move forward today.
So here's what I do. I'm going to extend the, restraining order. So, Ms. Rush, if you want to submit one like we did last time, so I'll extend that, keep that status quo. I'm going to give Ms. Gronitz until the 22nd. We'll set this over to August. Wait, do we have a space on the 22nd, Madam Clerk?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll set this to 2 weeks to August 22nd. Ms. Gronitz, the only thing I can't give you any legal advice from the bench, but I will tell you everything that you file, you also need to make sure that you get a copy to Ms. Rush for her review as well.
Yes, Your Honor. Like I said, last week I had technical difficulties. I got here in time on Friday to submit the protection order. I was here yesterday for court. I attempted to do the summons and complaint for dissolvement of the committed intimate relationship, which is my way of securing the $200,000 that Nathan Jeff Bob owes me and is using legal measures to try to prevent payments. So I have secured protection for my children and myself. I am submitting paperwork to get repaid. And the funny thing is I left an abusive relationship and I'm on my own property that I own outright, zero mortgage. I don't have any debt. I have money in savings to fall back on. I mean, I'm working on that battle. That battle, unfortunately, is completely tied to this. Jesse has been helping Nathan cover his affair with another woman, trying to strip me of my house, my money that I'm owed for my contributions in my place for 5 years. And now he's attempting to strip me of my children. I accept the extension because I would like the chance to get caught up on paperwork because they've had 3 months ahead of me. I would like to request that Jesse be in charge of all of the children's school supplies and all of their uniforms and everything that they need to get ready for summer or for school this year because, well, quite frankly, I believe it's his responsibility as the parent who's taking care of them. Generally, I do that for them. I won't be doing that this year, and I would like him to. And I can be back at court on the 22nd. What was the time?
1:00 p.m.
1 o'clock. Is that Zoom or in person?
It is Zoom.
Okay, because I thought today was Zoom. I was prepared at home, came to the courthouse after I looked at my paperwork and it said in court. I'm still new to this lawyering. I have a PhD in business management contracting. The COVID laws changed. I am working as diligently as I can. I have completely shut down my entire contracting business for summer to give this case 100% of my dedication. I let the thing with my ex.
Okay.
This has 100% of my dedication right now, Your Honor.
All right. Well, then I expect to have everything filed in a timely manner and we'll be able to proceed on the 22nd.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
That's okay. I'm glad you were able to make it back. So we're here on 3 different issues: a temporary order, adequate cause, and a restraining order. I set this over from the 8th to today for you to be able to file a response. We did receive, I think this is where we got cut off. I received about 110 pages of medical records and about 20 pages that were some information that Dr. Maharg wrote, as well as some aromatherapy information. So we're ready to proceed today on these 3 motions. And because the petitioner in this case is the one who filed this motion, we'll start with Ms. Rush. So thank you for your patience.
Thank you, Your Honor. So I would, again, as I mentioned earlier, normally because of the timeliness of her filings, I would have filed a request to strike, but I don't think they're entirely relevant, quite frankly. And my client and I were concerned about kind of the filings are a bit erratic and not on topic. And so it just goes in with kind of our general concern that she's not in a place where she's exercising clear mind or good judgment, especially when it comes down to the kids. So that would just be kind of my preliminary comment. I will also note that there's currently a permanent DVPO against Ms. Gronitz with a former partner. It's my understanding that there's a warrant coming out for her arrest or multiple for violations of that. So just bring that to the court's attention, obviously, because that affects where she's going to possibly be. So just going back on this, we have Eden, 11, Leo, and 9. My client is primary parent under the existing parenting plan, and mom has 5 nights every 2 weeks. We filed for modification and received the initial restraining order on July 10th. Ms. Gronitz was served with the initial paperwork on July 13th. So at this point, we are, over basically almost exactly 5 or so weeks after this was all filed and served. So there's been plenty of time for people to get their ducks in a row. At the last hearing, because Your Honor agreed to kind of set over the restraining order, just continue it. We did agree to continue everything, to today. So what we are asking for is we're asking for what it amounts to a major modification, but it's not a custody change. Essentially, what we are asking for is that the kids just remain solely in my client's care. He's had them, obviously been primary parent and had them solely at least since this restraining order was granted. And we are asking for 191 factors against mother, or that those at least be reserved pending multiple evaluations. We did ask for a drug and alcohol evaluation with collaterals in our initial materials. Given some of the behavior that I've seen from mother, I would add that I think the court could benefit from some sort of psychiatric evaluation. So I would just kind of note that for the court. I'm not sure, based on the comments that we've received from multiple people, and I'll comment in just a minute. One of them was from a good friend of mother's. The comments that we've received about her behavior, I don't know if that's attributable to substances. I don't know if it's attributable to a hard, her going through a hard mental health time. I don't know. And so I just think that we owe it to these boys to get that all sussed out. Basically, what led up to this and culminated in us obtaining the restraining order was kind of a couple of years of escalating behavior. And I'll point out to the court some of the issues my client raised in his declaration. Ms. Grunitz does have past substance abuse issues. Those have been acknowledged. Those were addressed in the prior case. In addition, her parenting has just kind of gone downhill since the last parenting plan was entered. We basically, we filed information from the kids' pediatricians that Eden, ADHD, mom refuses to medicate him. He's also is on the autistic spectrum. Eden also has allergies. Mom refuses to take him to his appointments, brings cats around him, and doesn't require regular nightly showers. I know these things sound little and almost petty when taken one by one, but I think what I'll sum up for now and what I'll say in the end is all of these things, in addition to her current behavior when taken in aggregate, are what leads to adequate cause and entitles my client to a modification. She refuses to take the kids to appointments on her scheduled days. We provided documentation showing excessive tardiness and absences on mom's days. She just stopped doing schoolwork with the boys, period. She knowingly exposed the kids to COVID and didn't tell my client till after the fact. My client and a couple other declarants indicated that she showed up on what appeared to be high after or at Leo's birthday party, brought a stranger who people also commented appeared to be high. To avoid service on the protection order with her most recent significant other, and this is in the police file, this is the police reports, mom had the boys hide out in the woods so she could avoid service. When she needed materials from her prior partner's house, she had the boys climb in through a doggy door at his house, and this is all while the police were trying to serve her with a restraining order. There's been multiple times where she doesn't pick up the kids from school on time. She refuses to exchange at the courthouse, which is required by the parenting plan, and which my client has asked for to just provide kind of an equal playing field. My client was kind of satisfied that she seemed to be getting a little better with her last boyfriend, who provided some help and stability. But now that they've broken up, it appears she's kind of spiraled again. We indicated to the court that she does own a property, but by all intents and purposes, it's a shed. There's no electric, water. There's sewer leaking outside the property. Apparently, this is the Mount Brinion property. She certainly has no appropriate place to house these children right now. That's not an appropriate place to house these children. My client indicated that in recent months, the boys have regressed to some bedwetting and to some pant wetting, which is also concerning. And he will have them, he will continue them with their regular doctors and seek any other additional help that they might need to deal with the current situation. So we did file a declaration from my client's mom about a specific incident where Ms. Gronitz came to the house and multiple people approached her or observed her impaired on something. The words used were nonsensical and that she was creating a scene. There was 911 called at that incident, and police also provided standby at school later that week. I think what's also telling is that we did provide a declaration from Patricia Peterson, who participates in the Cabaret Follies with Ms. Gronitz and has done so since 2016. She ostensibly is a friend or at least an acquaintance of Ms. Gronitz and voluntarily wrote this for my client because her observation of the last couple of months or her recent interaction with Ms. Gronitz has been that she's been erratic. They've smelled alcohol in her breath at practices. She's been disruptive, spinning out of control and out of sorts. Those were her words used to describe Ms. Gronitz. So I think what my client's asking for here is that, and I think it's appropriate that she receives some evaluations to determine what's going on. Like I said, and I'm not trying to hammer her. She's going through a tough time right now, but I think her appearance and kind of her demeanor at the last hearing, I think combined with what she has filed in this case, where she's really fixating on her ex-boyfriend and I guess the CIR that she's filed against him, she's just not tracking. If my kids were taken away from me because of allegations like this, you'd think you'd see things like, here's a lease on a new apartment, here's a recent hair and nail test, here, you know what I mean? All those kind of things that you would see. Ms. Gronitz indicates that she's a business owner and that she has a high level of education. So when we don't see these come back in the file, that adds additional concern. So we are asking that the kids continue to reside primarily with my client with no contact with mom, that there be adequate cause found, and that she be required to undergo some of these evaluations that we've talked about so we can find out what's going on. My client, Eden and Leo, need their mom, but they need her when she's safe and healthy. And I just think it's very clear that right now she's not.
Right, thank you. Ms. Gronitz, any response?
Oh, yes, I sure do. Would you like me to start with my original or the response to what I just heard?
How about a response to what you just heard?
Okay, that's probably the easiest.
And
Thank
Your
you.
Honor, just at the outset, I, for the record, I have to object on anything that wasn't filed with the court. I know you're giving her leeway in responding today, but just had to make that objection for the record.
I'll note that. Thank you. All right, go ahead, Ms. Gronitz.
Yes, and to comment on that specific objection, I will illustrate that I am currently in 5 court cases, all of which are proposed to me in a couple of weeks. I'm not a lawyer. I'm an accountant and a business manager, and I have thousands of documents to spread out between 5 different court cases, which is why the petition with Mr. Bopp was approved, because the wrong attachments were in the wrong case file, because I have 5 different little boxes. I have to put 1,000 different documents in. That's what's going on in the court system. I have an update about what I'm doing to manage that, but just to respond to Miss, who am I speaking with? Rush? Doesn't matter. Whoever was just speaking. The first thing that I recognize in every single document, I've read over 300 submittals given to me in the last couple of weeks, and I don't see any concrete evidence to support one single thing. I see about 8 different people claiming meth. Of course, I got that taken care of right away when Aaron Winkles called the sheriff after I left court in a Zoom box the day I left the hospital visiting a friend who was just beat up. Yeah, I probably was a little erratic that day. But I didn't have custody of the kids, and I wasn't on meth. I was at the courthouse getting records, which is how I know Winkles called, and I went 2 days later, got a drug test, because that's not the issue at hand. The issue at hand is my committed intimate partner went rogue and found somebody else to adorn his affections on, and I am now the victim of breach of contract in numerous ways. So today's issue is, number one, Mr. Gronitz piggybacking off of Bopp's effort to hide his affair. I don't even care about the affair. I just want paid out of my relationship to go live my life with my children. I do better on my own without the men arguing in my life. I don't need a man. I don't want a man, but I'm owed half of $1.5 million portfolio, which I still have to assemble. That was in priority place over this court case. Okay. They knew I already had 2 court cases when they submitted this. This is already abusive just to submit this. The amount of paperwork for me to have to respond to, I had to shut down my entire business this summer. And I've done nothing but attend to dozens of documents. And if I had the capacity to email them to you, you'd have had them 3 weeks ago. I had to buy a new printer. I've gone through 8 reams of paper. They're in pending order, but I don't want to just dump another 1,000 pages on you. I have to get them organized, labeled, submitted to the right court, 5 different courts, the right attachment. That's what I'm working on. So to respond to what evidence do they have, I don't see any actual concrete evidence. Everything I'm going to be supplying is medical reports from doctors. I have 200 pages of CPS and sheriff's reports from Jesse polling this stuff for the last 10 years. I have a great narration story of this whole rinse and repeat cycle, Your Honor. I saw it coming, and I have all the text messages to let you know I forecasted it. I was a victim of domestic violence with Jesse. I went through all of the abuse training courses, and when Jeff became violent, I recognized the symptoms in him. I vacated my residence. And you know what I did? I vacated my primary residence to my secondary residence. When I divorced Jesse, I left him a business that was operating in the 6 figures every year and a house that we owned free and clear that he sold for $380,000. He doesn't own the business anymore, and he lives with his parents. To me, he was never the driving force of our success. I took my success with me. I left him a good package to work with, and he's crippled it. And he's living with his parents. And I'm grateful that he's living with his parents, because at least Eden and Leo are getting the care that they need when they are with Tim and Leanne, when they are not being coerced by Jesse to spank them because he told them to. Leanne's statement, Leanne knows for a fact that this entire situation, my emotional duress, how many psychologist reports did you read where every single one of them is because my partner was instigating emotional duress deliberately by not respecting me as a human being and a partner in my relationship, and that's what happened with Jeff. I don't need a partner to disrespect me. I'm better off on my own. I own my property free and clear. I have money in the bank. I'm camping out this summer because I didn't get a paycheck from my partner. I have the money to rebuild. Jesse has no idea what my condition in my residence is. He's not supposed to be snooping around my property. So he doesn't get to lay claim at what condition it is, because he shouldn't know. I've had it for 5 years. I'm a custom builder. You don't think I've made improvements? Come on. I've been operating as my business location for 5 years. Yeah, I had to add a kitchen. But I just added a sink and a stove, which I already had on site. And I told Jesse all of this summer. I let him know what I was doing. The fact that he's taking advantage of my situation, or attempting to, the only thing that he's trying to take advantage of is the fact that I had my records in storage. I had to pull them out, and now I have to submit them to you guys in your fashion, which is not my fashion. My fashion is integrated where everything connects and everybody knows the whole picture. They're specifically using the court system's little poll. Oh, you can only have these attachments in this file, and if these attachments aren't in the right file, then we're going to motion to continue. Well, I'm sorry, Your Honor, I don't have all my attachments in this file. So if that's the only basis that you can go off of, well, then you'll have to go off of them again like the judge did before, because he doesn't have the capacity to make the actual decision that he knows is true. He has to go off of the limited paperwork submission. I don't have that limitation in my business. I look at the whole picture every time, every element involved on every element and decision I make, because it all factors in, it's all important. Let's see. Erratic behavior. Yeah. 2 of my ex-husbands fully engrossed in the court system. Not one single mention of Michelle. I submitted documentation. She exists. I don't care she exists. I just want paid for my relationship. I'm glad Jeff has somebody to take care of him, because I was just nothing more than a nursemaid the last year. I thought Jeff was dying for 6 months. I've been upset about it. Had I known he'd been taken care of, I would have been gone. This winter when he changed, I thought he was sick. He's not sick. He's just fine. He's just distracted. He just doesn't want to pay me for the effort I put in. Are you still there? Did I get connected? I'm kind of.
Nope, we hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let's see. So yeah, the substance abuse has nothing to, my erratic behavior has nothing to do with substance abuse. But when the man you love, you think is dying, starts attacking you, when you're giving nothing but your best to him, it's upsetting. And that's viable for anybody who experiences it, in my opinion. And according to many, many professionals who I've been speaking to about the situation. And have record I submitted to you, I dealt with this Jesse, or the petitioner. Okay, as far as Eden goes, I don't care what Jesse has to say about Eden's allergies. I have the same allergies. I know when Eden is allergic. I know how to remedy him because I've been doing it his whole life. I use essential oils. I use aromatherapy. I use menthol, peppermint. And this is the conversation I had with PJ. Tinctures. I turned half the people onto them, and they were thankful for it because it opens the airways. It allows you to breathe. And when you're exercising for 3 hours a day, I was exercising for 8 for Cabaret. I did 14 numbers out of a 22 number show. PJ did 2 because she lacks the capability to do what I do. She can't hear. She can't follow the music. I don't hold it against her. I'm not making reports against her. But she certainly doesn't get to judge me for anything because she can't keep up. So yes, I attend to Eden's allergies because I suffer the same allergies. It's not fun. It clogs our nose. We can't breathe. I have low blood pressure to boot. I have to clear my airways. I've found through my doctors several alternate medications to pharmaceuticals because I'm not a pharmaceutical person, because when I got pregnant with Eden, it made me throw up and then he threw him up. It doesn't work for our bodies, so I go with it. I didn't make it up. I was fine with it before it didn't work for me. It doesn't work for me now. I have alternate solutions. They're over-the-counter solutions I can buy anywhere. They're not prescription-based. I don't have to go see a doctor. And they're like $10. It works. I don't understand the problem and why I'm being scrutinized for essential oils. Doctor's appointment. Yeah, that one was a fun one. The day they submitted, I didn't take Eden to his dentist appointment he shouldn't have been at. He had a pre-scheduled counseling appointment at Tam O'Shanter Park with Liz, his ABA counselor. And Jesse, just decides to schedule a dental appointment and then criticize me for not attending. What I do? I was going to cancel the appointment with Liz, but no, that was the day she could do it. So, okay, well, take the boys to the dentist appointment. I'll go meet with Liz, and then you bring the boys to me when they're done. Jesse refused to bring the boys to me after their dental appointment, and I was sitting at the park with the counselor. So he doesn't get to pretend like I wasn't making my appointment. I was at my appointment, the first appointment that's scheduled a month ago. So I'm sorry, but that doesn't work. knowingly giving my children COVID. I'm not even going to respond. Woods, doggy door. Okay. Yeah. So I asked Jeff for payment on Mother's Day, and he started yelling and screaming at me. So I left the house with my Eden. I avoided going back Sunday night. We went to my mom's, and I dropped the kids off. Sent Jeff several messages to pack up the kids' stuff because they have school uniforms that they have to wear. Mass uniforms on Thursday. It's a specific outfit, and I only have a couple. I didn't think to grab him on Sunday. I thought I was going back Monday to move out amicably with Mr. Bob both Monday and Tuesday. That was the schedule. I have it recorded via email like 2 or 3 times. He's the one who went rogue and tried to use Chloe on his protection order just to not have to split stuff. So when he refused to get my stuff, I made contacts to try to coordinate, and then decided it didn't work out. I asked the boys if they were fine with getting the stuff, and they said, yeah. I'm friends with the neighbors. I parked at the neighbor's house. The boys were supposed to go in the back door. Leo likes to climb in the doggy door. I didn't tell him to do that. It's a habit. We put the cat door in, and he just likes it. He's a little kid. So I'm not going to take responsibility for him crawling through the doggy door, but I take responsibility for the fact that I had to take my children to a house. After asking Mr. Bob to pack up my stuff, I didn't want to be there to begin with. Yeah, it seems that they have a lot of people making statements. If you'll notice, there's a specific trend in all of their comments. I know the court system operates off of if you use drugs, if you use weapons, if you use, there's a couple other things, the red flag systems in the court. And then they have their symptoms, the black eyes, this, that. My counselor notes in my sessions I have an eye condition. So them making comments about my sunglasses, I've been wearing sunglasses since I was 10, every single day of my life. It's not going to change, no matter how much they criticize me in the court system about it. But it doesn't mean I'm high on drugs. It means I have an eye sensitivity. Guess what? Eden does too. He doesn't like to be in the sun either. He's going to say he's high on drugs? Certainly hope no, but not. But he is high on stimulants. Jesse's in contempt of the court right now for. Because I just printed out the 28 pages of our case file, court thing, and there's at least 2 to 3 times I've taken him back, and he hasn't even paid. He hasn't even bothered to pay me for the previous times he's taken me to court. But here he is ruining my entire summer plan with my kids to do it again. And he's not even fighting himself. He's having his friends and family doing it like he always does. Hides behind them. Okay. I don't know what else. Bedwetting. I haven't had any problems with bedwetting, but according to Mr. Maherg's child abuse statement, it is a symptom of abuse. So if Mr. Gronitz is experiencing that in his home, he should look in the mirror and figure out what he's doing wrong. Because I don't have a problem with bedwetting. My kids love it here. They have their own space. I have 2.5 acres for 2 children to do nothing but help me build a house for 10 years. That's the whole plan. Mr. Gronitz doesn't want me to have that opportunity. He's been trying for 15 years to strip me of my property, strip me of everything I've earned. I've walked away and handed him everything he could possibly ask for. I just went and rebuilt. I was willing to do it with Mr. Bob until he's chasing me down the court system. Now I have to submit all this paperwork. I have better things to do than play court, Your Honor. This is not, I can do it, and I'm doing it. Patricia Peterson, yeah, we had a whole, it's not Patricia's show, it's the Jamie Donegan show, because she physically assaulted me after practice, threw me in the hallway and tried to chew me out for helping a couple of friends who were having an issue with the sewing room. One gal was coming down with COVID, the other gal was leaving. I offered to just make a list. That's my solution for everything. Oh, what do we need to do? Let's make a list. And then everyone can pick out what they want to do, and whatever's left over, well, we'll figure it out. So I show up, I make a list. The girl who needed to leave got to leave, and the girl who was in charge knew what needed to happen. Patricia attacks me the next day to scream at me for helping my friends. I let her know straight up she doesn't get to dictate my relationship with other people. That's my rule. I manage my relationships with others. Jesse wanted to think he could manage my relationships. Mr. Bob started thinking he could manage my relationships, and he started interfering with my relationship with Chloe. I bought her flooring against his wishes last summer. How dare I buy his daughter flooring when he told me not to? She picked it out. She bargain shopped for it. She paid $1 a square foot instead of $5. She had friends show up and clean up the room and help me remodel. But because I defied him, it became contextual. In the last year, it's been contextual. But he also had all these doctor's appointments, so I thought it was related. Apparently not. Yeah, Miss whoever was on the
petitioning party mentioned where they don't want to hammer me with court cases, then why are they filing this right now? It's strategic, Your Honor. I just accepted service to 2 other packets served to me in the same packet, so I'm assuming they're together. I show up to court blatantly clueless. I've had to do so much research to get caught up on what these guys have had months to prepare for, and they're working with 2 different lawyers who are in the field. So yeah, I'm a little behind the times as far as successfully getting my attachments in, but the clerks are really annoyed by me because I keep bugging them about how to do it. My business reporting doesn't look like the court reporting, and I have to modify my system to adapt to yours, and it takes some more time, and I'm making it. But everything about this case only indicates the abuse that I had to deal with Mr. Granitz, and the abuse that he's blatantly supporting Mr. Bach putting me through for Michelle when there doesn't need to be. I just want paid and left alone. They're chasing me down. They're terrorizing my business yard, my mom's house. She doesn't even live there anymore. Can we all put it on the record? My mom doesn't live there. Please don't go bug the people who live in my mom's house. I spent the entire month of June and July moving out of. I had to move my parents out of their 20-year house while getting chased down by these 2. I'm supposed to be building my sister a house right now. I have other things to do than fight for the money I already earned and the kids I made and the kids that I love, and he has no right to even keep doing this. So I'm not sure what the final answer is today, Your Honor. I don't know what limitations you have per this court system, but as far as I'm concerned, there's no concrete evidence here to support anything they've said. Everything they've said is nothing but abusive, and I've supplied the one and only statement that means anything. I'm not on meth. I'm not on drugs. I'm on an independence kick to get out of an abusive relationship, and I have all the means and devotion and tools at my hands to make it happen. I will make this happen. If it doesn't happen today, I'll find a way to make it happen in a different court. I don't know your limitations. I'm sorry that I couldn't get my paperwork to you to make a better decision.
All right. Thank you,
done.
Ms. Granitz. Any response, Ms. Rush?
No, Your Honor, I'll just note that a lot of the allegations she brought up kind of insinuating against my client were predate the existing parenting plan that was entered in 2020. So there's no anyone restrictions against him or either of them, quite frankly. And as my client noted, as I summarized, he didn't go after her until things started getting really, really bad. And so that's where we're at. And I think that if it's a result of the breakdown of her relationship, okay, we need to identify that and figure out how to make that, how to fix that. If it's a result of something else, we just need to get to the bottom of it, because I think that, like I said, her behavior, her speech pattern, everything is when there's something going on. And I mean, I've been doing this long enough. I know Your Honor has too, that it's just not safe for the kids to be with her right now. Luckily, my client is a protected party. CPS has not gotten involved. There's been nothing dramatic like that because he has the kids, and he will continue to make sure they get to school and everything else that he's been doing since he's had them in his sole care for the last, almost month and a half. So, like I said, we haven't had a chance to respond to a lot of the allegations that she made. I don't know how much that matters, because a lot of them do either predate the existing parenting plan or kind of have to do with her relationship with this other gentleman. I would just note, kind of finally for the court, I heard about 90% of that about her having to fight for what she's owed from her ex and what she's owed from, his estate or whatnot. And I heard about 10% of that about Leo and Eden. And so I just think that mom's focus at a bare minimum is elsewhere right now. I think there's things going on. And we would just ask that, number one, the restraining order be continued. Number two, the court find adequate cause and enter the subsequent order, and that the court enter our proposed temporary parenting plan, which does have basically no visitation pending some evals. So that's what we're asking the court today to grant.
All right. Based on all the information that I have received, there's a pretty substantial amount of evidence that has been set forward and filed by, of course, my Odyssey just froze. The petitioner in this case. I do have some concerns. That's, I think, the reason why the restraining order was entered in the first place. There is a motion for adequate cause in this case, as well as the continued restraining order, and just to enter a temporary order based on those 2 requests. I am going to make a finding of adequate cause. There's something is a little bit amiss here, and I think we need to figure out what that is. So I will make that finding. Additionally, I'm going to do something a little bit different than what's being requested, but I will have the restraining order. I'll keep that in place. Make a finding of adequate cause. I'm gonna allow mom to have visitation, supervised visitation and professionally supervised visitation until, and that's, I'm gonna give up to 4 hours a week. And then, order the evaluations as requested. Once those are completed, then, we will look at everything all over again.
So,
So,
Your Honor, so just to be clear, so the professional supervision, is that at mom's cost?
yes,
And then the substance abuse evaluation and the mental health evaluation, those are with collaterals, and are those at her cost as well?
yes.
Okay.
What was that part? Moderation?
Ms. Gronitz, it was just clarifying that some of these services the court is ordering that you will be paying for those, but my office will draft orders that specifically encompass the judge's ruling and send them to you so you can review those.
The word was the last phrase you said was what? I'm making notes.
Collateral
Can you
input,
just repeat those?
collateral input.
Collateral.
Okay.
Collateral input. Okay, thank you.
And then, in order for you to get those orders drafted, make sure that Ms. Gronitz has had an opportunity to review those. What would be a good presentation date?
I would normally say 2 weeks, but I think I'm out of town because it's the Tuesday after Labor Day, so maybe 3 weeks.
All right, we'll set a review for presentation on the 12th of September at 1 p.m.
Do I have a chance to add additional attachments at this time, Your Honor? I've only given you like 1 out of like 20 packets.
If there's anything that you feel that you need to file as part of this case, I have no say in that. You can file whatever you want to file, whether.
Well, I guess I'm okay. I had a packet ready to submit today as a submissions. Is that still appropriate, or do I need to file a whole different packet now?
Unfortunately, I can't give you any legal advice about what that is. I don't know what information you're trying to submit, but if you feel it's important to the case, you're free to submit that to the clerks as part of the court file.
Okay, I have thousands of packets to paper submit to the clerks that I am trying to get there. I'm running out of time on this because they jumped on me. I've had like 2 weeks to catch up, or what, 2 to 3 weeks to catch up here on paper. They're winning because I can't get my attachments in. If I have to file new forms or whatever, I'll do that. But I just need to know, can I still just submit attachments for this case, or do I have to file a whole new? Okay, I'll look it up. I guess I'll get the, you know that there's like 28 pages of this going on in your court system. This has been going on for 10 years. Every 6 months, Jesse files with you, and I have to deal with it. I'll go look it up. Is there anything else that we need to review?
Your Honor, real quickly, did you want her to undergo a drug test too, or wait to see the outcome of the evaluation?
Just the evaluation at this point. And then,
Okay.
I already took the drug test.
well, if you have a results of a drug test, you can file that and give a copy to Ms. Rush.
I did. You have it.
Your Honor, I think that was,
in
I think that was a blood or urine test, which obviously doesn't go back as far as we're looking at. So
Okay.
I think she did take one in recent months that I saw come through, but
Okay.
I took a meth test 2 days after Aaron Winkles called me in on
Okay.
meth in the courthouse.
All right.
Okay.
And
I did that specifically because he
okay.
called
That's
me in on
fine.
it, and I'm not.
But I don't have access to all your other court cases in this docket on this case.
It's in your. It should be in this file. I gave it to them last week.
If it's there, that's fine. I'm not ordering a drug test. I'm ordering an evaluation.
Okay, I'm sorry, Your Honor. It's so frustrating.
Okay. No, and I understand you're frustrated, and I'm trying to be patient with you. There's going
I
to be an
appreciate
order
that. I apologize.
No, you're fine. Miss Rush is going to complete an order, send it to you so you can review it and ensure that you understand everything that's in it. And then on the 12th of September, we will come back and enter that order. And if there's any questions you have about that order, you can raise those at that time. Okay.
Can I ask that be emailed? I'm not in Cowlitz County.
Miss Rush, do you have an email address for Miss Gronitz?
we've communicated with her via email. I think she refused to accept email service. So we've had to be having her serve with everything. So, I mean, I'd agree to reciprocal email service if she would agree to it, but.
Are you willing?
What happened is I opened an email during court. I was receiving emails and it shut down my entire electronic system. So I had to revamp my entire electronic system. I have a new email. Do you have that on file? Because I submitted it
Go
The
ahead.
Mandy Gronitz claim. Right, that was part of my issues with getting all of my documentation in. I was out of electronics for almost a week.
Okay, well, we'll update that one in our records, and that's what we'll use to communicate with you. So, and then, Your Honor, I think I can probably from your ruling, are you reserving on 191 factors at this time?
Yes.
Okay.
Pending
What are
the,
191 factors? Do I have to look that up too?
it's part of
191
yes, it's part of the statute. It'll be in the order. Essentially, it's a determination if there's any limiting factors on a parent's ability to parent. That's the shortest version of it I can. Okay.
Yeah, I already went through this round. Okay.
All right. So September
Again,
12th
rinse
at
and
1
repeat.
p.m.
This is all rinse and repeat.
All right. September 12th at 1
September
p.m.
12th, 1 o'clock.
1
Thank
o'clock.
you. I really appreciate it. I apologize for the communication issues. I'll
All
just
right.
call in next time because thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Gronitz and Gronitz 16-3-004-835 on for presentation of order.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm present for Mr. Gronitz.
All right. I don't have an order. Did you submit one?
We did. Yeah, we submitted, I believe, last week. I can resubmit them. We did send them to her right after the hearing. So she's had them for a couple of weeks and we've not heard anything about these orders. I understand she's filed separate documents about something else, but we received no response to the form of orders.
I have not seen any either. Madam Clerk, do you have any knowledge? I only got 3 orders for today's.
So I can have my
We
staff
didn't
go ahead.
receive any paper orders.
I apologize, Your Honor. I thought, like I said, I thought my staff sent them last week. Would it be acceptable to email them over shortly after the hearing, or what would Your Honor prefer?
Well, they've
Or
already,
can
I
them
do
drawn
show proof of service. If you want to just resubmit them the same way you submitted them last time, and then those can be sent back ex parte. There's been no, the only response that's been filed by the respondent in this case has nothing to do with the order that we're entering today. So I think we can, I feel comfortable, and there's proof of service in the file that we can enter those ex parte at this point.
Okay, great. I will have my staff submit those. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Read continuances.
Yes, Your Honor. My name is Amanda Hartman. I'm appearing on behalf of Deanna Rush for number 2, the Gronitz versus Gronitz motion.
Right, 16-3-004-83-5.
Yes, we've received an email from her indicating she wanted to set this over to next week.
Is Miss Mandy Gronitz present?
I'm not sure if she's on or not.
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Okay. Yes, Your Honor, I'm present. This is Mandy Gronitz.
Okay, and you are requesting a set over at this point, is that correct?
Actually, I just reviewed the file, and I could just make a quick change on my request, and we could settle the matter. Or we can set it over next week.
Okay.
But we are in communication. I have received new information, and we are communicating about that new information, and it does affect this case.
Okay.
My request is simply, instead of advancing me lawyer fees, that the petitioner pay the upcoming litigation expenses for the GAL and the motion to move. That's my request.
Your Honor, we're going to have to object to that. There's no motion for a GAL right now.
Well, in this case, they're requesting that I be denied to put in further motions, and I ask that request be denied because I should maintain the ability to defend myself. I haven't even shown up to court on this case yet, and so I would like to retain the ability to show up to court. I am preparing motions. I do, however, have a really heavy caseload for pro se litigant. I'm in 4 different dockets. I have 4 different court dates just this week. I've been in 18 court dates in 9 weeks, and I have 200 different line items to process for those 4 dockets. So I'm handling a lot of information. They're all interconnected, and it keeps stalling. But the specific request for my litigation and my attorney fees, I can rescind that request. We can deal with this a different way, or we can set this over. I'm not sure the appropriate course of action. But I don't really want them to pay me. I want them to pay the litigation expenses coming up specifically, because that's what my request was kind of preparing for.
Okay, so
They have put in a motion to move,
okay,
and I will be
ma'am,
objecting to that.
when I start
Yeah.
talking, you keep talking, and we need to not do that. So hold on a second. So today, the only thing that's on your cause number is a motion for advanced lawyer fees and costs. And so that's the only thing that it's on for today. So my understanding, I'm talking still. So my understanding is that you're not wanting for advanced lawyer fees. You're just wanting to move forward on the request for costs as in if there's a GAL or something else upcoming. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And I don't know, Ms. Hartman, if you are stepping in for Ms. Rush this afternoon and you expected it to be a set over, if you're able to deal with that, or if you would be still requesting a continuance.
So we're still going to request the continuance for next week. We had a written request, so we expected this to be a set over, and that's what I was prepared for. I believe Deanna would like to participate in this next week.
Okay, so next week unfortunately isn't going to work because well, long story short, we don't have enough judicial officers to handle all the dockets. I have a doctor's appointment that's been scheduled for 2.5 months. That's next Tuesday at 2 p.m. So I shut the docket down at 6 matters, and I can't set it to next week. The week after that is already closed because we're maxed out at like 24 cases. So the next available date would be the 31st. Does that work for everyone at 1 p.m.?
That would work.
Ms. Kronitz, does that work for you?
I'm sorry, I was grabbing my account. November 30th?
No, October 31st. So 3 weeks from today.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Wrong month. So Halloween.
Yes, at 1 p.m.
Is there a penalty if I just rescind this and readdress it when we do the motion to move? Or I'm not sure how that works, but actually that'll probably work over because we'll probably be dealing with the motion to move at the same time. So I can coordinate my paperwork to match that.
Well, and it sounds like if you're in communication with Ms. Rush, that's something that maybe you can discuss with her between now and the 31st. So I'll set it for review. I'll set it for review of your motion for attorney's fees for the 31st at 1. If you file another motion, it can get added to the 31st. Great. We'll see what we have to work with on the 31st at 1 p.m.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Gronitz and Gronitz 16300483-5.
Sure.
And this is on for review.
No.
And Ms. Hartman, any updates?
I believe this is just on the respondent's motion for attorney fees.
Mandy Gronitz present. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you. Thank you.
Oh, good. Okay, thank you.
My understanding was that when we were here on the 10th of October, she was withdrawing that request. Is that in this cause number? Is that correct, Ms. Gronitz?
Yes, I'm
Okay, unfortunately, you just cut out, Ms. Gronitz. I don't know. Could you state that again? You just muted and then unmuted. Yeah, if you want to try again.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Motion to strike lawyer fees, strike that. My situation has dramatically changed.
Okay. So when we were
Are we
here on,
discussing the move today?
what was that again? I'm sorry.
They put in a motion to move with the children. Is that getting discussed today?
No, my understanding is that has been noted on for, I don't know that a date has been set for that yet. Do you see, Ms. Hartman, a date set for that
Um,
notice?
I believe all we've done is file. We haven't set a date yet.
Okay, so Ms. Gronitz, no, that's not being addressed today. That is yet to be noted up for hearing by the moving party. And that they would have to
Okay,
serve that
I was
date
just
upon
going to
you.
comment. My life is in imminent danger, and I approve the move because I can't see my children until I'm not in danger anymore.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I don't, I hope you know who to contact if you are in imminent danger, that there are resources available to you, and 911 is always an option if there's imminent danger. So please use that if it's necessary. If you do find yourself in a situation where you can contact Ms. Rush's office and you are in agreement with the move, you can contact them to let them know that. At this point, it's not before the court. So I'm not exactly sure. It just says a review hearing today, and I don't know that we have anything to review. So please, Ms. Gronitz, take care of yourself. And then I guess Ms. Hartman, I'm assuming you or Ms. Rush will get that noted up in the near future if it's not agreed upon by the parties.
Yes, we will.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Gronitz. Heintzman and DeGruber Evans. This is 21-300-60408.
That was the last time this couple was in court. Mom did not object to Dad moving with the children, and there haven't been any new filings in the case. As far as I can tell, she isn't seeing the children at this time, but I think that's probably for the best until she gets some sort of treatment. She seems obsessed with her other 3 cases with her current ex-boyfriend, and she spent a lot of time in this case talking about how the 2 of them are ganging up on her. So come and watch her other cases in part 2 to see how far she takes this. The link will be in the description box below.